Hey guys, it's Hannah. So today I'm going to teach you how to make some weekly and monthly inserts for the Big Happy Planner. I decided to make some inserts because I really want to start playing in my new planner. If you haven't watched my flip through of my new 2018-2019 planner video already, I'll stick it in the eye and put a link to it in the description box below. But I got a new planner and it starts in July of this year and ends in December of next year since it is a dated planner. But I already want to start planning and playing around with it already. And I decided to make my own inserts because that way I will know that I am making them the way that I like them and that they are the same exact size as my Big Happy Planner. So I thought that I would make this video for any of you guys who would like to make your own inserts for your Big Happy Planner. I do have a mini Happy Planner that I use for YouTube related things, so I will make that in the future, but for right now I'm just making the Big Happy Planner inserts. But I have all of my measurements for the monthly and weekly pages. I measured with a ruler by hand how big the boxes are, how big the footer, the header, the note section is. So we're first going to make the monthly insert because that's a little bit easier than the weekly insert. So I have 4 pages right here for you guys, so that way I can make the left side and the right side, because since it opens up on 2 pages, you are going to need 2 pages with different inserts. I'm also using the Pages app on my MacBook Air. If you don't have a Mac, basically Pages is the Apple version of Microsoft Word, so if you have Microsoft Word, you can totally use that. So since we are making the monthly insert first, we are going to do that. So I'm first going to go on to the shape thing in the toolbar, and I'm going to choose the square, not the rounded rectangle, the square, because it's straight all across. And I am going to color this so that way you can differentiate where everything goes, and that way your spacing will be even. If you're not really worried about that, you could totally skip this and just put the boxes wherever you want. So then I'm going to go into arrange, and then I'm going to put the size of the header, and the header is 1.375 inches high, and since the pages are 8.5 by 11, it is going to be 8.5 inches wide. So I'm just going to scroll all the way to where I see these yellow lines, and that means that it is even all the way around and it's touching the very edges of the page. So now we are going to make the notes section, and this is only for the left side of the page. On the right side of the page, you won't have to worry about this. So again, I'm going to click the shape icon in the toolbar, click the square again, go to style and choose a different color this time. I'll just go with pink, no preference really. And then I'm going to go to arrange and choose the size. Now, depending on if you want it longer, that depends on you. So I measured it 3 different ways. I'll put all the measurements in the description box below if you just want to look at the measurements and then do it yourself. So the note section is 9.75 inches high, and it is 2.25 inches wide. So I'm going to go all the way to the top. There we go. And then I'm going to bring the header to the front, and then I'm going to go to style and lower the opacity so that way we can see where it is. So I'm just going to zoom out just a tiny bit so you can see what I mean. And right here would be your footer. You can put a box down there if you want to. Now we are going to make our boxes. So again, we're going to go to shape, click on square again. Then I am going to make this white, and I'm going to have a border around it. So this is what our box is going to look like. I am going to lower the line point to 1 because that way it's thick enough, but it's not too thick. Then we're going to go back to arrange, and then we're going to do the sizing. The monthly boxes, are 1.8125 inches high and 1.8125 inches wide. So it will round it out to where it is the same. I'm just putting in the exact measurements that I did when I measured it. So you have 1 box. So on the left page, you're only going to have 3 rows wide and 5 rows high, if that makes sense. So basically it's going to be 3 rows this way and then 5 rows down, if that makes sense. So then I'm going to duplicate it 3 times. I'm just going to select all of these and put them like that. And then I'm going to duplicate this 5 times. And I'm just going to move them up a little so that way there's no like weird spacing. Okay, so the boxes seem to be a little bit crooked right here, so I'm going to click on the box and it'll automatically take you to the arrange. So we're going to align it to where it is even. It's always one box that I find likes to be all crooked. So I'm going to click the last row and click align to the right. That way those are all good. Then I'm going to click the center row and click align center. Then the first row, align to the left. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So see how these are all thin and this row is not, so that means that there's a little gap in between them. It just takes a little bit of finessing to get it as even as possible. I personally don't like how the lines right here are nice and even and then right here they're all too thick. So that's why I go in and I take the time to make them all even. There we go. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to delete the header and the notes section, and this right here, this little gap in between the boxes on the right side of the page, that is where you're actually going to punch your holes for your page so it can go into your Big Happy Planner. And right here is the footer. So you can put lines right here for your notes section. I am leaving mine blank because I can put stickers or like a meal plan for the week or whatever right there, and the header is blank too. You can put the numbers in the boxes already and the days of the week, but this is what the left side of the page looks like, sorry. So I'm actually going to copy all of those. And before I do that, I'm going to go to shape again, click the square, and I'm going to put make this rectangle as wide and long as the actual pages. So that way I can move it right here, and you now have where your holes are going to be punched on the right side. And then I'm going to make another header. Now I'm going to right click and paste. I'm selecting all the boxes and I'm moving them all the way to the punch section. And they still look pretty even. Sometimes if you select all of your boxes and move it to another page, it kind of moves some around. So I'm now going to select all of the boxes in just the last row. It honestly really doesn't matter which row you choose. Click duplicate. And then I'm going to move those right next to the box and move it over 2 times. So that way it's nice and even. And you just made the right side of your monthly insert. So you can get rid of those. So that is what it looks like. So now we are going to do our weekly setup, which is a little bit different and a little bit harder in my opinion because boxes are a lot wider and longer than the monthly ones, but you could totally keep it blank like this. I personally am keeping it blank like this. This one box was crooked. You can add whatever you want to this. You can add lines right here to where the notes section is. You can add the days of the week and the numbers of the month, but you can totally keep it blank and then just add them in yourself, so that way you have inserts for all year round. And we're now going to make the weekly inserts. Okay. So we are going to make another header. So we're going to go to shape, square, choose a color. We'll do red this time. Go to arrange. So of course they're always going to be 8.5 by 11. And then the height is 0.875 inches high. This one is a little bit smaller than the other one. Then we're going to make our notes section. Again, going to shape in the toolbar, clicking square. We're going to choose green. So we're doing Christmas colors apparently. Then we're going to do the sizing. The sizing on the notes is different between the weekly and the monthly. The monthly is a little bit bigger because there's smaller boxes. So the height of the notes for the weekly section is 9.4375 and the width is 2.0625 And we are going to make our boxes. So we're going to go to shape, square, and I'm going to make it white with the line. Because if you don't do a fill, it's going to be harder to click on it, and you're going to try and click on that tiny little line. So there we go, the line is all set. So I'm going to go to the size, and the size is a little bit different since it is a rectangle. So the width is 1.875 and the height is 3.0625. And there's your box. I'm just going to randomly put it right there because we are going to make the box dividers. So I'm just going to duplicate it and then duplicate it. And we're going to make the box dividers. I'm going to fix the boxes in a little bit. The dividers actually really help with making it. So the box dividers, I'm going to make those pink for right now. And for one individual divider, it is 1.875. So the width of the actual box, and then the height is 0.1875. So there you go, and it's gonna sit on top of it. See, you can totally copy and paste these or just make it the same height and the width of 3 boxes. So like you could do this. And you could do that and just copy and paste it. Okay, that seems good. So I'm going to make these just white with the line around them. And there is the left side of the weekly setup. So you have your notes section right here and your header. To make the right side, this part was actually really tricky because I thought I could copy and paste them, which you can, and I'll show you what happens when you do that. So I'm gonna copy them and then paste them. So this time it didn't do it, but sometimes it will make it a little bit more funky. So it actually spaced it really even to where the notes section is, but since there is no notes section on the right side, the right page of the weekly setup, we're going to do the shape again. So it kind of did move our divider boxes a little bit, which it's okay, we can fix them in a second. So I'm going to duplicate the box and just put one more row. Okay, so I'm just gonna lift this box, this divider for a second. Okay, then I'm just gonna put it back on top and then bring to front. So that is how you make a weekly setup. Again, for the notes section, you could totally put in lines or whatever, or even put in the days of the week. I decided not to. You totally can forego the page dividers, and it'll just look like this. It'll just look like a bunch of boxes, so you don't even need the page dividers if you need them. So that's how it'll look like without them, and that's how it'll look with dividers. I actually kind of like the dividers instead because you can put like a sticker that says to do and have a checklist of things you need to do for that day. Or even put like the days of the week right here. If you aren't going to put them on top of here, you could totally do whatever you want when it comes to making your own inserts, and you can make them to fit your planning style and your lifestyle. Sorry if this was kind of all over the place, but I hope this did help you kind of get an idea of how you can make your own. It's really easy. It just takes a while if you want them to be exactly perfect in spacing and alignment and to look exactly like your planner. But if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see a mini happy planner inserts video, comment down below and I will definitely do that for you guys. Other than that, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.